In exchange for donating her eggs, papers claim that Riley received $10,000 to $20,000 and was also gifted an old Jaguar. They've been very close. They share the same interest in Scientology.
A $50 million lawsuit just dropped a bomb on Hollywood that nobody saw coming. Riley Keough, the granddaughter of Elvis Presley, is being accused of selling her eggs to John Travolta back in 2010. But the real shock isn't the biology. It's the price tag and what allegedly happened behind closed doors. We're talking about $10,000, a used Jaguar, and an insult so brutal it's left the entire Presley family furious. This story has everything: secret deals, heartbreaking family drama, and accusations that sound too twisted to be real. I'm breaking down every detail of this explosive lawsuit because what's happening right now is tearing apart two of Hollywood's most famous families. Now, before we get into the specifics, I need to ask you something. Do you think there's any truth to these claims? Or is this just a vicious attack by people with an axe to grind? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're finding this story as shocking as I did, hit that like button and the hype button to help push this out. So, let's start with where these allegations are actually coming from, because this isn't some random gossip blog. These claims are sitting in official court documents filed just 2 days ago on December 16th. The lawsuit was filed by Breijit Cruz and Filo. These two used to work closely with Priscilla Presley managing her business affairs. But now they're locked in a bitter legal war with the Presley estate over breach of contract and unpaid fees. In their latest amended complaint, Cruz and Filo decided to go nuclear. They've included private, damaging allegations about the family that have absolutely nothing to do with the business dispute they're supposedly fighting over. According to the filing, their source for all of this is Michael Lockwood, Lisa Marie Presley's ex-husband and the father of her twin daughters. The lawsuit claims Lockwood spilled the family's darkest secrets, and now those secrets are public record. The documents get specific. They mention photographs, handwritten notes, and exact dollar amounts. One alleged piece of evidence is a handwritten note that references CA Fertility Partners, Ben Travolta's name, and a line that says, "Kelly Preston carried baby." Cruz and Filo claim that Lockwood showed them a photograph of Riley Keough holding baby Ben at John Travolta's home in Maine. They're essentially saying they have proof, and they're daring the families to deny it. Here's the thing, though. Michael Lockwood and Lisa Marie had an ugly, drawn-out divorce. So the question becomes, is he telling the truth? Or weaponizing gossip to hurt his ex-wife's family even after her death? To understand why this story is so explosive, we need to go back to 2009. That's when John Travolta and his wife, Kelly Preston, experienced every parent's worst nightmare. Their 16-year-old son, Jet, died suddenly while the family was on vacation in the Bahamas. Jet had a history of seizures, and he suffered a fatal one in the bathroom of their hotel. The Travoltas were absolutely devastated. By 2010, they wanted another child to help heal their family. According to this lawsuit, that's when they turned to their close friends, the Presley family, for help. But this is where the allegations take a dark and incredibly cruel turn. The court documents claim that John Travolta initially approached Lisa Marie Presley herself about donating her eggs. It would have been a biological union of two legendary Hollywood families, Presley and Travolta DNA combined. Lisa Marie was in her early 40s at the time. She and the Travoltas had been friends for years through Scientology. On paper, it might have seemed like a beautiful gesture between people who cared about each other. But the lawsuit alleges that John Travolta rejected Lisa Marie's offer. And the reason he gave, according to these court documents, is absolutely devastating. He didn't want eggs with heroin on them. This was a direct attack on Lisa Marie's very public struggle with opioid addiction. She had been open about her battles with prescription pills, and now this lawsuit claims Travolta weaponized her darkest struggle against her in the most personal way possible. Whether this actually happened or not, the fact that it's now in a court filing means it's permanently attached to Lisa Marie's legacy. That insult is out there forever. So if Travolta rejected Lisa Marie, what happened next? According to the lawsuit, the families moved to Plan B. They allegedly decided to use Lisa Marie's daughter, Riley Keough, instead. At the time, Riley was only about 20 years old. She wasn't a famous actress yet. She was just a young woman trying to figure out her place in the world while living in the massive shadow of being Elvis Presley's granddaughter. The lawsuit claims Riley agreed to donate her eggs so that Kelly Preston could carry the baby. On the surface, this sounds like a selfless act. A young woman helping family friends who were drowning in grief. But here's where the story shifts from heartwarming to transactional. The court documents allege that Riley was paid for it, and the amount is shockingly low for people of this kind of wealth. The lawsuit claims Riley Keough received between $10,000 and $20,000 for donating her eggs. On top of that, she was also given an old Jaguar. John Travolta is worth an estimated $250 million. He owns multiple homes, private airplanes, and even has his own runway. Yet, according to these allegations, the biological future of his family was secured for the price of a decent used car and a five-figure payout. If these claims are true, this wasn't about love or family. This was a business transaction made behind closed doors, where the granddaughter of the king of rock and roll sold part of herself for what amounts to pocket change in their world. And here's what makes the timeline so compelling.
Here we are, Ben and I at the Super Bowl.
Ben Travolta was born in November 2010. If you work backwards from that birth, the conception would have happened in early 2010, right when the Travoltas were grieving and looking for a way forward. The dates line up perfectly. Now there's another layer that conspiracy theorists are running with. Both the Travoltas and the Presleys were deeply involved in Scientology during this entire period. John Travolta has been one of Scientology's most famous members for decades. The church is known for its tight-knit celebrity circles and its ability to keep massive secrets under wraps for years. If this egg donation deal really happened, Scientology's culture of control and confidentiality would have been the perfect environment to hide it. All of this has caused an absolute firestorm for Priscilla Presley. She's 80 years old. She lost her daughter, Lisa Marie, just 2 years ago, and her grandson, Benjamin, to suicide in 2020. Now she's fighting a legal battle that seems designed to destroy what's left of her family's privacy. Priscilla's response has been swift and brutal. Her attorney is Marty Singer, one of the most feared lawyers in Hollywood. His statement calling out Cruz and Filo was scorching. Singer called the allegations outrageous, unethical, and shameful. He argued that these claims have absolutely nothing to do with the actual breach of contract case. He's essentially accusing Cruz and Filo of throwing in salacious lies to embarrass the family into settling. Singer's statement said these former business partners have demonstrated there is no bar too low and no ethical line they are unwilling to cross to inflict pain on Priscilla. He's framing this as extortion, plain and simple. The Presley camp is hoping people will recognize that a business lawsuit suddenly including decade-old family secrets is suspicious. But the problem is, the damage is already done. That line about eggs with heroin is now permanently out there, and we have to talk about the human cost of all this. Ben Travolta is 15 years old right now. He lost his older brother Jed as a baby, then lost his mother Kelly Preston to breast cancer in 2020. He's already been through more tragedy than most people experience in a lifetime. Now he's waking up to headlines claiming that Riley Keough, someone he probably grew up knowing as a family friend, is actually his biological mother. Whether it's true or not, the psychological impact of even seeing those accusations is going to affect him. For Riley, this is equally devastating. She's spent the last few years trying to rebuild after unimaginable loss. Her brother Benjamin died by suicide in 2020. Her mother Lisa Marie died suddenly in early 2023. To have her name dragged through the mud in a lawsuit that insults her mother's addiction and questions her own choices as a 20-year-old is a nightmare. And she can't even defend herself publicly without making it a bigger story. The tragic irony is that this lawsuit was supposed to be about business management fees. That's a boring legal fight nobody would care about. But by throwing in these explosive family allegations, they've turned it into a tabloid monster. So where does this actually go from here? The Presley legal team will almost certainly file a motion to have these allegations struck from the record. They'll argue that claims about Riley's eggs have nothing to do with a business contract dispute. If the judge agrees, those sections could be removed. But it won't matter because the media has already reported on them. The internet has already dissected every word. The conspiracy theories are already spreading. The only way to truly settle this would be a DNA test. If Ben Travolta's DNA was compared to Riley Keough's, we'd have a definitive answer. But the chances of that happening are basically zero. The Travolta family isn't going to subject their teenage son to that kind of public spectacle. And that means this story will probably live forever in Hollywood lore as one of those mysteries that never gets fully resolved. People will look at photos of Ben and Riley side by side, searching for Presley features. But we'll likely never know the full truth. What we do know is that when trust breaks down between powerful people, the fallout is brutal. The curtain has been pulled back, and what we're seeing isn't glamour and movie premieres. It's the messy, transactional reality of life at the top. So, what do you think really happened here? Is this a dark secret finally being exposed? Or is it a coordinated attack by angry ex-business partners? I'd love to hear your take in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated as this story develops, because I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of it, hit that subscribe button and the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.